starting with the story cards. So for you guys, we have the Eight of Wands, the Emperor, the Seven of Wands, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Ten of Pentacles. Okay, so first thing I got in my mind was money and control. Two words that registered is money and control. Being in control. First, I feel like whomever the cards feel like speaking to is talking about receiving a message rather quickly. You may have been waiting for it, but I feel like it comes in rather quickly. And I feel like this message might be coming in from an older gentleman. And this could be someone that you've applied to for a job, pretty much, or some form of position. And definitely by the end of the month, I feel like there's an actual financial opportunity. There's a lot of possibilities behind it. I mean, it goes from the ace to the 10, and it goes to the ace from the 10 back to back very quickly. So, for those of you that may have been looking for work or have applied already and are waiting, this might be the month that you hear something, and then boom, here's job opportunity, and you have, I wouldn't necessarily say riches, but in this case, whatever that might be for you, you have enough to feel grounded, stable, and able to keep yourself afloat with luxuries, I would say. There's the ability to spend additional money on yourself. There's always a surplus. You're not living paycheck to paycheck. That's the vibe I get with this job that you may be getting. I mean, the only thing that throws it off a little bit is that there is some defensiveness in the Seven of Wands, just as a general meaning for me. The Seven of Wands is usually, actually, I'm actually thinking that this means, this simply just means beating out the competition. That's what I feel like. And I feel like this person is being direct and telling you you've beaten the competition. Maybe you're just that good at an interview, and then boom, here's a job, and then you're being able to live, quite well as a result. Let's see what else. And if not directly you, it can be someone that's very significant to you that's being impacted in this way, and it's actually impacting you as a result too. Like maybe you were waiting for someone to be able to get a position, and then you hear that they have beat out all the competition, and lo and behold, they got a relatively high-ranking job. That is the main thing. I'm trying to see if there's anything else I'm getting for some of you other folk out there, but it feels very successful job or opportunity to me. I mean, if you were waiting for any sort of contact from someone that is maybe quite older than you are, or just older person in general, maybe a father figure, that could be coming in just as well. I got some slight, very small, I don't know who this is for, very small note of having to defend family. I can't say, I think that's very minor because it just registered for me that there might be some defensiveness around family as well. I mean, it is actually December holidays, so there can be a lot of get-togethers where that sort of energy is around because you have all sorts of family members, and you know how that can be. Sometimes there's bickering, but for whatever reason, small amount of folks, I got some bickering. I don't think it's anything major. It could be just within the same story, and that's just, it decided to say that's coming in as well. And there is a little bit of a sense that I get too of having to pack your bags for a job. like you receive a message that you've got the job and then you have to relocate for it. But it's not just you, it's you and another person. And it might just be a lot of work in doing so. Because I'm getting that with the Seven of Wands here, that yeah, you might have to move for this job, but nothing really negative about it because I feel like it's wanted. You want this, so you do whatever, and then by the end of it, you're content, especially financially, and being able to support your family if you have other people that you need to financially support. All right, so now I'm going to go on to the overall themes for each week, each individual week in December, and for those I usually draw 2 cards, as you can see. So for the first week, we have the Five of Pentacles and the Eight of Chalices. For the second week, we have the Ace of Chalices and the Emperor. For the third week, we have Death and we have the Ace of Wands. And for the fourth week, we have the Fool and the King of Wands. And I have a habit of jumping around sometimes. The one thing I like is the Fool and the King of Wands. I feel like that has something to do with this new opportunity that's possibly come up by the end of December. New tangible monetary opportunity that you're pretty much jumping all in to grab, and that there's a lot of interest in doing so. Like you really want it, you really want to do it, you really want to take the leap and grab this opportunity because you believe it's going to give you what it is you want, whether that's a lot of money, stability, ability to buy yourself stuff, etc., etc. You're going after it and you're going to take the chance. So I kind of skipped there, but I just like that combo. And what's interesting to me too, there's even though the Fool is my risk card and being willing to take that chance, there is something about this pair that is like ice cold and fiery hot. The actual artwork, one barely feels like it has any color and the other one is just like reds. So there could be, even though you're ready, you're going to take this opportunity, there could be just a smidge of uncertainty or maybe even like fear, a little bit of cold feet about it, only because of the colors. There's a little bit like, I really, really want this, but I might be scared, I might be intimidated just a bit, even though you are going to take it. I'm going to move on to the first week because I kind of skipped ahead. So again, Five of Pentacles, favorite card here. And the Eight of Chalices. So this is where I feel like the overall theme could be of you wanting to move away from this energy of poverty, from an energy of hardship, from an energy of feeling like you don't have enough to get what you want. And you want to move away from that onto something else. Usually the Eight of Chalices, I keep wanting to say cups. The Eight of Chalices is moving on from something that you've put a lot of emotions into, and it's just not worth it anymore. But in this case, I feel like you just want a new journey because you've been living in a particular situation that has been devoid of anything, and you're just ready to move on. I feel like this is the Eight of Cups journey away, looking somewhere else because you're tired of having to scrape food to have for the day, or you're tired of having to do a meaningless job that you don't like that barely pays anything, things of that sort. Then the overall theme for the second week, this week I feel like is more where you're concentrating on what it is you want, because you know you have to move away from the situation that is draining you, that doesn't serve you, that makes you just not feel sufficient. And In this particular deck, the Empress of it's labeled 3, but sorry, the Emperor feels more meditative to me. He's in control, but he's contemplating and controlling. I get the sense of controlling thoughts, thinking about what you really want. And I think what you really want is something that brings emotional happiness. And it could be a job too, it doesn't have to be love. Um, so I feel really centering yourself and figuring out what it is going to bring you this feeling of emotional fulfillment and help you get away from that cold environment that you were in the past. Let's see. I mean, I'm going to say it too, because sometimes the cards don't always have to correlate exactly. Um, they can just be secondary stories that are happening within that week aside from the big overall main story. And this could be a new romantic opportunity that comes up. And it can be with someone who is almost, I get quiet, an introvert of sorts. Like someone who's hard to read. You get the possibility of an opportunity to meet someone, a romantic interest, that might be hard to read. Maybe they just keep themselves kind of tightly wound, at least at first. For the third week, this is where I feel like that opportunity starts to come in, or kind of bang comes in, because it's lovely when we have death and then we have an ace. So, and in this case, we have the Ace of Wands, and Ace of Wands is usually passionate energy. It's fiery, it's creative, it's inspiring. I love the Ace of Wands. Of all the aces, give me the Ace of Wands all the time. I'll be happy. Um, and so, I feel like this is where that line is drawn, where that ending happens of moving away from this cold, isolated, not so healthy situation for you. Because if you look at the first week too, color wise, it's very blue, very white, very cold. And then as you move forward, it starts getting more red, more vibrant, more. There's energy, there's passion there. So in this case, I feel like death is kind of like bang, that style of living is over. New opportunity is brought forth, whether that's in like a new actual business or again that new job that was coming up earlier. For those of you that are trying to start a business, this can be where it takes off. There's just an element of something that ends, but what comes after is a good thing. It's a great thing. It gives you that. It's like that. Yes, I'm just going to say it that way. That spark that you have that makes you want to get up in the morning. You're very excited about it because you just can't wait to get involved. Can't wait to go to your new job. You can't wait to see this other maybe new person that you've met. Or you started a business and you can't wait to hire people. Either way, there's just this energy of starting something new and it grows quickly and you're moving far, far and away from this loneliness that was probably present in November, this feeling of not having enough of something. And again, by the end of the week, there's also too that Fool and the King of Wands. Just looking at the cards themselves and forgetting about what I associate for the most part with my past experiences with these cards. I feel like this King of Wands is also thinking about what they've endured, thinking about what they've had to deal with in the past. That's what I get with the Fool here. The coloring, there's something reflective about it. There's like it makes me think of a pause. Like you have a movie that's all in color, then they just switch to black and white, and it's a memory. And you remember having to work two jobs, or not having anyone come home to. That's what you wanted. Um, just something that was very, again, cold and lonely. There's that reflective pause moment I feel here, but by the end of the month, you're on to something new that's going to bring definitive stability, happiness, and excitement. I mean, the Ace of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands, there's physical manifestations. Again, it can be an actual job. There's just a lot of stability that I'm feeling with the Ace to the 10. I mean, you got an Ace going to a 10, and then you got an ending going to an Ace. So I'd be surprised if nothing good didn't happen, at least for a majority of you. I do feel like it's a turning point. Very exciting. I love the Fool. King of Wands gets things done. He has passion and energy behind him. He's probably the guy who will be doing 10 things at once and have complete control over it, and then very charismatic about it as well. Willing to help